Good afternoon, friends. We are here at the park. It is the Halley Quynh show. So here we are on a Tuesday. We're going to be sharing the topic of how we have been bringing light into our own lives right now in a time period where there's so much, how would I say it? Stories that are putting a lot of fear and especially fear of the unknown right now in this time period. So we're always going to bring about topics that has to do with healing, self-love, transformation. Hi, Sandy. So feel free to share this out if you feel like your community or someone on your Facebook needs to hear about this topic. And we're just going to share personally how we have been bringing our own light into our world during when all of this is going on. So Halley, I'm going to start with you. We always start with you. You're so amazing. We just had an amazing meditation, which we will start doing publicly because we do it for the Hive community. Oh, there's Eva. You have to time. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. But if you're interested in a Zoom meditation, we're going to be starting that as well. Let us know so we can invite you. All right. So Halley, my dear, in this crazy, interesting time right now, how have you been finding light in your life right now? Or how have you been cultivating it? Like what have you been up to with the light work, with your own light work?
Well, I want to start with what we just did in meditation.
Yes.
Because I think it's a really important one to share.
So good.
So I'm reading this book. It's called The Universe Always Has a Plan. It's by Matt Kahn. And it's the 10 golden rules of letting go. And I think the 4th golden rule is where I'm at right now. And it's the golden rule of well-being. Mm-hmm. And he says the rule is something like your well-being is your indication of being able to, or of being in your potential. Something with potential and well-being. And then he talks about the breath and how our relationship to our breath is what basically like gives us access to our potential. And so if we experience our breath simply as this very basic function of our body to stay alive, then our experience in our life is in kind of a very basic survival mode. But if we experience our breath as with each inhale, we are breathing in the light of source, the light of divinity, love, God, whatever you want to call it. And with every exhale, we're giving that from our being. We're giving that to the hearts of others. Then every time we breathe, which is all the time, we are like in direct connection with God, and when we're, or love, or whatever, and when we're in direct relationship with the ultimate power source, then we're able to really expand into our potential. And so he says, if you want to improve the conditions of your life, improve your relationship to your breath. And you improve that by changing your awareness or changing your understanding of what your breath actually represents. So that's just like tool number 1, especially because we're all chilling with ourselves. And like, you know, there's definitely been a lot of time, even right now, I've had a couple of friends who have needed to borrow my laptop because their laptops have broken. Wow. And they are graphic designers and they're still employed. And so, you know, I gave my laptop away. So that means like I have nothing to stream on, and I don't even have like work. Like it's not even like I can go create content or do some writing right now or like distract myself through working. It's like I have my breath, I have books, I have, you know, like something to write with, and like my feet to take me on walks. So the less we have right now, the more we have our breath, and the more we have an opportunity to create more of a relationship to our breath, and therefore to our well-being and to our spirit.
Oh, I absolutely love that. When you speak about when we breathe in with intention and how it relates to our potential, I thought about how when we breathe in, we're also creating space And within that space comes with the ideas, comes with like something comes up which relates to your potential. And I love how you said the less that we have, what was it? You said the less that we have, we have our breath. We have our breath. And there's so many other things that we have. Previously on our meditation, one of the attendees mentioned that, gosh, what did he say? He said, he went to gratitude, and he went to how, the coronavirus is attacking our respiratory system. And so when we breathe, we can take that intention too of how grateful we are to have this breath, to be able to breathe. Yeah. But there's so much. Some of us may have lost a lot, and don't forget, we still have ourselves. We still have our breath. Beautiful. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you've been really tuning into Matt Kahn and his teachings. And you've been honing in on your own creation. On your walks, you mentioned nature as well. Oh, that's another beautiful thing, you guys. We're in nature right now, and what a time to kind of like explore taking yourself on a walk.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I've been noticing within myself and with people around me is that my heart feels like extra gushy.
Ooh, gushy.
Like I feel like very like just like love is pouring out of me for like my people and my community, like I feel like a lot of just like really deep gratitude. And I've been noticing other people's hearts are kind of like overflowing right now. So yeah, I guess connection and like a fearless offering of love is another way of connecting to the light.
Right? And therefore you're creating light within yourself and then with other people as well.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, you guys. How have you guys been creating light? Really, really curious to hear like what kind of like light have you been seeing through this time of darkness, as we can call it. Let's see. So for myself, I have been making it really simple for myself as I enter each and every day. I've realized that in the beginning, when this shift was happening, I was so excited about the time. I was so excited about my potential. I was excited about the things that I was already working on. I get more time of that. And then I realized I would picture the next day of how it would go. And then I realized it never really went in the order that I thought it would be. And then I would find myself frustrated, like hurrying up to get to the hive so that I can work on my stuff, or like hurrying up and getting up so that I can start being productive now. And I realized how I was finding light in this shift was really, you know what? Everyone's schedule has changed. And as long as I can go to these two things, then I know that I am creating something good in my day. Sometimes it takes me the whole entire day to finally get to it, but that's the thing. Like, I'm allowing myself to really fluid, and as I make it really simple to commit to two things, which is, one is movement of the body, whether it's stretching or working out. Two is going to my creative outlets. As long as I go to those two things, I feel the light being created within myself. And then whatever it is how I show up, like right now it's like all virtual stuff, like on social media, when I reach out to friends or stuff, like it feels good. And so for me, it's really keeping it simple in my day and not being attached to how it looks or when I do it, even if it's at like 1 a.m. or whatever, because for me, I'm like being shown my old habits of distraction. I'm at home more, and like all this old stuff is coming back. So it's really keeping it simple in my day so that I know that I still have this opportunity to be with myself.
I like that you narrowed it down to two things.
Just two things.
That's so helpful, because I think that like that's part of what we got going on here is we kind of have to like we're kind of all being forced into this like what actually matters, what actually helps, what's actually useful. Like, where is our energy the best spent? And the more simple we can be with that, the more achievable it becomes.
Totally. I'm making it possible for myself now. Like, cause like I have so many ideas, And then I get excited about the next day coming back. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do all of this. Oh my God, it's going to be so great. And then, and then I realize, wow, like every day is just so different.
I know, every day is so different.
So different.
I remember at the very beginning, my friend Lano, who lives in Tucson, we got on FaceTime and we were like, all right, let's craft our plan.
Yeah.
Like, what's our, what 6 to 8 things do we want to make sure that we're doing every day,
Okay.
And it was just too much. It was too much pressure. And that's part, and then today, we've just been talking every day because we love each other and we usually don't get to talk every day. So we've been FaceTiming almost every day. And she wasn't feeling well and she was in bed and we were just talking about how like every day we get to see like what does that day call for? What is that day asking of us? And what yesterday was asking of us is not going to be what today is asking of us or what tomorrow is asking of us. And so we get to really like strip down these like rules that we put on ourselves.
Totally.
But it's nice to have a couple of anchors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I have a similar one. I have similar anchors as you do. It's like I need to move my body in some way every day. Either a nice long walk or a yoga sesh or some push-ups or something, that definitely like you just feel like, okay, we're good.
Exactly. And you guys are even just like sticking it to one thing. And like you said, you're actually having to really narrow down what's really, really, really important. Because you guys, we all have distractions, but if we can focus on, as long as I get this done every day, I feel good because I'm building up to something. I'm getting the self-love practice and I'm tuning into my skill of arts or music or something. Right. And so if we can narrow it down to one, and for me, I'm just narrowing it down to 2 because I have to move my body. I have to do something for my physical health. I mean, especially in times right now. And then my creative outlets are like life to me. I need to express myself in some sort of creative way. And that's been really helpful. And that's leaving room for me to have an opportunity to create light for myself and then giving it to others as a result. Yeah, you guys. So that's our talk. Yeah. Anything else coming up for you with light work?
Like a little fraction of a thought.
But
it might. It's one of those that like was here for a second and then it
flew and it flew away.
It floated away, but it was having to do with I think the other interesting piece that's been happening for me and probably for a lot of people is we all have these different places where we kind of attach self-worth to. Like identity structures,
Yes.
And some of them are healthier than others, but like regardless, if they have to do with something outside of yourself, they're going to be shattered at some point. They're going to be taken away. And then you're kind of left like, well, who am I without that? And mine, that has been kind of like, it's kind of dangling. It's not shattered. It's not gone. But like my relationship to my work and to being of service, I haven't really known what quite to do other than, the work that we do together, the work that I do with my clients that are already working with me and still working with me. I've been very like, I don't really know what the world needs of me right now, and haven't felt comfortable like trying to force an answer and have just been like allowing myself to not know.
Oh, girl. Well, people from the outside can always see what your purpose is or the answer is. But, girl.
Well, we'll have to talk later.
Okay.
I would love to hear your
I
opinion.
see it.
Hi.
Hi.
Make a great commercial right now.
Oh.
Mountain Dew or anything.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
But it's really had me like, but what has been interesting about this is in my kind of like, I don't really know like where to direct my energy and what to put out into the world. I've had to sit with how much self-worth I have wrapped up into me being of service and my service in the world.
Yeah.
And then like watching that kind of unravel a bit, it's been like, oh, cool. Like, who am I without that? So I think any place where we're able to ask ourselves, like, who am I without that? Like any part of our lives or our relationships or our professionalism that are on pause right now, that we have a lot of self-worth invested into. It's just like, I think it's healthy. I think it's like fascinating, and it's a place to be really curious. Like, who am I without that?
Yeah. It almost makes you think of the other side of that, like, what can I live without, and why? Why can't you live without it? But yeah, what? Ooh, a lot of self-worth digging questions, you guys. Like, as we mentioned before, a lot of us have lost our jobs, you know, and because we spend so much time at work, a lot of your identity was probably maybe attached to that. And we really get to see what's left and what's really, really important to really nurture and build upon. What can we build upon right now? But yeah, I love your question of like, who am I without blank? Who am I without my job? Who am I without this or that? Yeah. That's a great journal prompt, you guys.
Yeah.
I am already wanting to like see what shows up if I just like wrote on that or talked about that.
And for people who have a lot of like, who spend a lot of their time and energy being out in the world in whatever capacity, like, you know, there are people who are like really devoted to like festival life. We don't get to be that person right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's just like so many places where we get to look at our identities dismantling as the world is also dismantling structures. You know, it's like structures are dismantling on the outside, structures are dismantling on the inside, and we're getting to a much more like raw and pure place.
Totally.
And we're like all having to adjust, you know, and it's awkward and it's uncomfortable and, you know, everything. It's everything. But it's like, it's juicy as fuck.
It's really juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hearing this question of like, who am I? And really figuring out who that is. So that when things get back to normal, and I feel like even when things get back to normal, we have the opportunity to come into it with something that we have grown while this is going on.
Yeah.
You get to show up like a stronger, like solid you.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the normal is going to be like everything's going to be different.
Yeah, even if when things, it's still that we just experienced something globally together.
Yeah.
We don't even know what that's going to look like.
We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world, and the main thing that's coming up for me is like you know, gotta figure this out, because no matter what happens, you already know yourself so much that you still feel somewhat connected, not so lost or attached to X, Y, and Z, because you have you right here, you and your relationship with Source or whatever it is. That gets to be really, really, really solid. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up this talk. Please share this out. Leave a comment. We would love to hear from you about what comes up for you when you think of like light. Create light in your life. Lightness or light. Yeah. Have you been doing the light work?
Our next workshop is on this theme, anchoring the light. So how we can all anchor the light within ourselves so that we can give it to others. And it's on April 21st.
Yes, it is.
April
it's
21st.
On a Tuesday, and it's a virtual, of course. It starts at 6:30. So the link is already attached to this talk. So we hope to see you guys there. And if you're interested in our Zoom meditation, let us know. We just discussed it today.
It's a free meditation.
It's free meditation, 20 minutes. So let us know if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. And if you guys are signing up for our workshop, we'll see you there, or our future meditation session. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks for being here with us.